Move my arm. Okay, we're good. So can everybody see me in the video? All right, I should be orange, red, and yellow, and everything around me is blue. If you take me out, it's going to fluctuate based on whatever's inside the screen. So you're gonna have a bunch of orange, reds, and yellows where it wasn't before. So what we're looking for in here, again, are those blue areas and something intelligent going across something orange, yellow, or red. It will also put a white line around it because it will look at it as something solid and something of objection, like it's an object. So, in the event whoever holds this tonight can't see because of the size of the screen, I'm going to analyze this in the morning through some of our hotspots and point things out with the markers. It is already recording, and it does record audio. So we'll have another point of reference for EVPs. So you're already studying, so I'm going to hand that off to you. What you're going to do all night is you're going to hold it horizontal just like that. You're going to be my video cameraman. Perfect. You haven't also said a word, so I also need my cameraman to be quiet. No, I'm kidding. So the red square on there means that it's recording. In the event you accidentally touch it, I need you to touch it again because it'll turn to a circle. That way I'll have to splice 2 videos together. I have had to splice together up to 30 videos at one point. Please don't make me do that again. Thank you. All right. So, I'm not going to make stuff up for you guys. We're going to debunk things as we go. I'm sorry, what was your name? I didn't go through names, did I? How rude of me. We're going to start over here. What was it?
Gianni.
Gianni, nice to meet you.
Louie.
Louie, are you the one that booked?
Rachel.
Rachel, your name came up on my last tour.
Jake.
Jake.
Kelly.
Kelly. Kurt.
Kristi.
Kristi.
Dawn.
Dawn. And we've already been talking. Look at that with her outdoor voice.
I know. Sorry. Most people's outdoor voice is my indoor voice.
You guys are going to be a fun group. I'm already getting chuckles. This is good. All right, so Jacob, was it?
Yeah.
I'm horrible with names. The writer's horrible with names. Can you guys imagine that? Is Gianni just not into this?
Well, he's like 13, so you know. He has to be here.
He has to be here. Got it. Because I'm not entertaining enough. I'll be on YouTube, I promise. All right, so we should all know what these are by now, right? So the red dot, right? It's going to measure surface temperature only. So let's say Jacob is standing right and he says, Nick, there's a blue something going on in that wall and everything around it is orange and red. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to debunk it and I'm going to measure the entire wall and I'm going to see if it's the same temperature as there. Let's say it is. The whole wall is the exact same temperature. There's a lot of people turning down this road. There's nowhere to go from there. There's nowhere to go. But anyway, let's say it's the same temperature all the way across and there's no reason for that blue spot to be there. I now know that that blue spot is between Jacob and the wall.
I wouldn't say.
So that's where this guy comes into play. This is a ambient temperature thermometer. So this is going to measure through the probe at the top. Please don't mind the electrical tape, another guest probe my tip. It still works. Gonna take it. I hate replacing equipment, it sucks. So we're gonna find where that blue spot is by measuring the ambient air between Jacob and the wall. Does that make sense now? Yep. All right, so I'm gonna hand these off to you. You're gonna help us debunk things. The yellow thing is not always a very active tool, so you can almost kind of pocket it until we need it, but you're going to help us keep the temperatures what he's finding in the cold areas, and you're going to help measure with that laser.
Okay.
All right. I need a chatty person, Don. Can you handle that?
I don't know. I'm pretty quiet.
Yeah. Don has been talking my ear off before all of you got here. So, as you can realize, I am after a characterization of all of you, and we are all going to wind up in a novel someday. So, we're going to
email me when mine comes out.
We're going to use several spirit boxes tonight. This one in particular does not record, so I usually give this to 2 people. So, Don and Kristi, you guys have to verify each other. Now, ghost hunting show fans, yeah, you guys have seen the TV shows. This is the same one that they use in the TV shows, okay? It's the SB7. It's a great device, however, it doesn't record. There are upgraded versions, which we're also going to use. So this one, so recognize that sound from your ghost hunting shows?
Yeah.
So here's what I'm listening for. I have it set up at a little bit of a slower speed than the TV shows. Why? Because the TV shows only want disembodied voices. I want you to tell me radio DJs, commercials, song lyrics, and disembodied voices. So if you can make out any of those things, you got to let me know what it is. We'll see if it's relevant. We get a lot of things out of this device. Okay. So there's one button you guys need to handle. It's already set to sweep. And there's a button right here in the center of the speaker, and this thing moves however you want it to be. Now the last guy, he actually was pretty cool with it. He actually cupped it like this, so only he could hear it. There's no volume control. So this only turns it on and off in the center of the speaker. You guys need to verify.
I believe in ghosts.
Okay.
I don't get the kind of cue.
So do I press the button to do that?
Yeah, when we turn it on. So when I say spirit boxes up, that's when we're going to go spirit boxes up.
Okay.
So again,
And then I hit this button in the middle,
that's it.
and I just say, I'm gone,
Turn it off for a second.
and then off.
Yep. So turn it off for a sec. So
I just wanted to know what
our
to do.
the first place we're going to go to, guys, is a great practice area. So it's haunted, but there's not a ton of history there. So it's kind of a good way for you guys to kind of get used to how all of your devices work, and I get to bounce around with each one of you until you all have a great gist of what it is. Because some of you are going to have lasers, and I need to make sure they're intact. So, actually, depending on our group, because we're still waiting on 2 more. But I will give specific direction with each location, because not every location uses all the devices. So that's why we go through all of it.
Just probably make it clear that they may not come. Huh? If I make it clear that they may not come.
So Kurt Kelly, was it? Yeah. All right. So we have another spirit box. It does the exact same thing, only it records. The cool thing about it is it doesn't record any of us, like the audio. It only records the radio sweeps. The other cool thing that it'll do is it'll record everything at an even level, even when it's on mute. So even when it's down and we're not listening to it, it's still recording. That's what's so great about this device. I love this device. So one, I'm going to set it up for you, and you really only need to pay attention to where the volume wheel is, which is at the top. And it's a wheel. You just turn it up and down. And you have volume control, they don't.
So again, I'm real loud.
So literally, you just turn the wheel, and you can see the radio sweeps. Okay? So again, we're gonna you guys are gonna work together on that one.
We are.
But there might, depending on how the rest of our dynamic works out, I don't think Gianna wants to be involved at all. So you might actually get some extra devices. So we'll see what happens. All right. Where were we? All right. Very simple point and shoot digital camera. So, Rachel, you look like you got your purse. So, man, I'm getting the names down tonight.
Yeah.
Look at me go. So, I don't normally hand this to teenagers because they don't know what the hell it is. They don't have
Yeah.
So, there is no flash on this. I turned it off. Why? Because I don't want false positives. I don't want to analyze every light that comes up through a window. So, the rule of thumb is nobody along this wall can be in the picture. I know, right? I'm horrible. If they show up and there's an anomaly in there, I have to cut them out. You guys didn't sign waivers. I don't do legal. That's how we're rolling. So when you're taking pictures, you're literally going to take 2 pictures of the same thing. So I have something to compare about. So one big button at the top, on and off when it shuts off by itself. That's all you need to know. When you're taking pictures, I want you to be as still as possible because there's no flash, which means I don't need a bunch of wavy lines to try to analyze. So guys, keep in mind too, I'm not the only one looking at this data. When we actually have great pictures and something I can't explain, my wife does all the graphic design for Stories in a Cemetery. She also analyzes all of our pictures. Her expertise and degrees are in photography and graphic design. So again, I'm not the only one looking at this. I only give her the stuff that I can't explain. And she says, unexplainable, we'll take it. So, but she has debunked quite a few for us. What else do I have? This is new. So the last tour, I wasn't sure how this was going to roll. It actually worked out really, really well. So simple battery tester, right? The whole gist of this was that spirits can actually take energy from a battery cell and use it to manifest through different types of gadgets and devices. It drained this battery on my last tour. Now, I will tell you, I set this up this morning for 2 hours just to see what to expect. I was expecting about 1/8 of an inch of drop because it is draining the battery slowly. I wasn't expecting the whole battery to drain. So, my last tour drained this one. We're going to put a new one on. There's a bunch of rubber bands on it to hold it in place. I wasn't real pleased with this device. I tried to return it, and they said, well, what's wrong with it? I'm like, well, you overcharged me for one. It's a $4 device, and you charged me 20 bucks. I bought it from the ghost shop. That's why. What do we want to put in here? Goes hunting tour or ghost tour?
I don't know.
If you don't know, then you're probably headed to Bulldog.
Yep.
That's that way down to the left.
Down to the left. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're all second guessing their opinion, their decisions right now. You could have done ghost hunting?
I don't know. This looks
let's just say that they're not really friendly with me. So I don't have to be friendly back. Okay, this one's good. So I'm actually going to hand this off to you. Do you have a pocket, right?
Yeah, I do.
So this way you don't have to stare at it all night. It's very hard to read. It's by the rubber bands. There is a little meter in there that'll tell you if the battery's good or bad. The rubber bands are just holding it in place. We're going to check it randomly. I might say, hey, pull that out of your pocket. Let's see where we're at. It's literally in the middle of the green bar. So it's mostly red, a little bit of yellow, and then there's like a third of the green at the end as far as the meter goes. Right now it's right in the middle of the green. I will expect it to go into the yellow for this torque. If it goes far back into the red from the yellow, we obviously have something draining the battery. So I'm going to take that as some kind of proof as well. Again, new device. This is the first time I'm really using it. Testing it thoroughly. You guys are like, what else do you possibly have in the bag? I have one more.
Oh my gosh, I know.
As soon as I find them. Here. Okay. So this is going to go to your group. So I don't feel like Gianni wants to be part of this. So you guys are going to help out until the rest of your group gets here. And you guys can kind of divvy up your devices.
I don't think they're coming.
Okay.
We'll just take it.
They're not gonna make it.
Okay. Have they been like texting you?
They're running late, so
Okay. Fair enough. All right. The neuralizer for Men in Black. None of you are going to remember anything when we're done. It's actually a grid pen. Yep.
Number one.
Here's what this guy does. It helps us see things that we can't see with the naked eye, right? So if I flash my hand in here, we might actually have to change these batteries so it's much, much brighter. You'll see that out of your peripheral vision. So I'm going to change the batteries on these just because it does go way brighter than this, and I would like for it to be brighter because when we're taking pictures, it would make much more sense. So that way we can actually see it. The ghost is not going to hang out in here. It's not going to say, ooh, I'm right here. It's literally going to be a quick little glimpse. It's very, very quick. So there's one for you, but hang on to it. We're going to swap your batteries out, but I got another one. So this one is not a neuralizer for Men in Black. This one actually helps us create grids. So what's so cool about this one? The reason why we use this one is, let's say we actually capture something with a picture from Rachel or the video. I can then put it in 3D software, and then you guys have a full 3D view of your apparition that you caught. I've yet to catch anything with this guy. I've had it for a few months. But that green one, for the first time 2 weeks ago, finally saw something in the green one. I've had it for 2 years. So that kind of tells you it just randomly happened. You guys each have two good there.
I can hold the grid thing.
Okay. I normally hand them to the same person, but I want to try something different. Don't crush your streams. So, oh, we got people that got my joke. Nice. I love it. All right. So, last but not
Picture
least,
pointing in the right direction.
I like to be involved too.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So, what do I do while I'm here? I have a backup EMF in case. Oh, I didn't even hang up the EMF. Man, I'm not on my game. I got the names and I forgot the gadgets. Alright. EMF meters. Rachel, you're going to be in charge of this too. Because her camera, we're not going to keep super busy. So EMFs, you've probably seen these on shows. They don't tell you what they actually do. They measure electromagnetic fields, but there's three types. First one actually comes from the Earth. It's natural. That's why it's green. Any electronic devices or man-made objects like wiring, cell phones, will make it go into a pulse. We don't want that either. We want erraticism. We want it to go absolutely crazy. It does not make any noise. So you're going to have to alert us when it's going nuts. So yeah, it's not a wave-around device. You're literally going to hold it out like this all night and just kind of keep an eye on those lights. When they start going blinky-blinky, we're going to see if they're going to be any kind of rhythm or pattern and debunk it. And then we're going to see what the other devices do. So I do have a backup one of those on my phone. It's not as sensitive, but it does work. So in case our batteries get drained and we have a drained battery there, we know we definitely have something. So that's a good thing. I do use several spirit boxes on my phone. This one will actually give us words right here in the center of the screen. You will see me have this out all night long. Cool thing about it is it saves it to a list. You guys will get this entire list back. 80% of it is bullshit. Does not mean anything. It's the other 15 to 20% that actually relates to any of you me, our tour, or the location of where we're at. I will not take one piece of evidence of that EMF going off and say, oh, everything's haunted right here. I need something else, which is why all of you, most of you, are recording some kind of data. I will be recording everything as well. The audio. I already got the word support, but that was from the last group. We're going to ixnay as that from them. The last one that I use is a reverse spirit box. What the heck is a reverse spirit box? It takes FM radio signals and it flips them backwards. So in the event something comes through, it will come through in forward motion. Last night, I had the strongest EVP from this app that I've ever heard. I'm going to play it for you as soon as it dies down, but I'm going to turn this up first so you guys can actually hear the gibberish that comes out of it. Oh my goodness. This traffic is killing me. Just complete gibberish. You guys kind of get the gist of that? Give you guys a listen. Now the nice thing is we're going to be in relatively quiet areas most of the night, and when I'm using it, I use it close to the audio, so you're going to hear me and this particular device. Now, what did I catch last night? Craziness. So I was talking about a woman from England, okay, and you guys are going to hear the same story tonight, but when I was asking about certain things, I got the term baked beans breakfast. Oh, wait a minute, it gets better. So that was kind of like, okay, that was really odd. Great EVP, make no sense. Somebody told me that baked beans in England are a thing for breakfast. I'm like, all right, sweet. Google it, made sense. So we're going through the rest of the data. On that device, I heard I'll fix you. And then on the word list, I got the word tea at the same 2-minute time span. So I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast, and tea. We're talking about somebody from England. You see how I put all those clues together? That's why we collect all this data. So let me play that for you real quick, because I was actually up all night texting everybody that I know about this damn EVP because it was that strong. So yep. It's going to play several times.
I hear it.
Now you guys all heard the gibberish before. That was the app that it came from. So again, great. Now it's going to play on its own. It's because I bake beans breakfast every day. Sorry, I'm a little dramatic at times. All right, so I set these up with my. All I got to do is turn the volume up and down, and I can use both spirit boxes at the same time. That's why you guys heard that chirping noise on the recording, because it was coming from the blue app, not the red app. Okay? So it's going to be on your audio that way. So guys, we started here for a reason. You guys ready to hear some stories?
Yes.
All right. So
Change batteries first.
oh yeah.
Are you going to tell me when to press this button?
Yeah. No.
No.
It's not a telephone. So go ahead and untwist that.
You said you needed someone who was loud. I just figured I had to say something every time.
It's done.
It's done.
Maybe if you keep talking to them, they'll be more thinking.
Hey guys,
it's you and not
it's
somebody
Dot
else.
here. How y'all doing?
No idea how this thing came out.
Giovanni, you're not going to jump in? Or is it Johnny or Giovanni?
Yeah.
Johnny. Johnny, you're not going to jump in?
No?
They got enough gadgets.
Don't worry, he
they
doesn't
can
talk to
give
us any more than you.
Try that.
Man, you're missing out.
Yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Good?
He's missing
Yay, that's what I'm talking about.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, so, all right, lasers off. We're going to distract the guy with the epilepsy. Let's go.
Don't strobe it.
Yeah, don't strobe it. It's not a twisted toy. I've had the kids like, ooh, look at me. I'm like, this is not a disco. All right, so Big John's. That's what this place used to be called. Big John's. Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. So, thanks, bud. He used to sit in the back of the bar. He used to hang out here. He's from here. He's buried here somewhere. I don't think they disclose that information. But anyway, he used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would let the bartender know if the cadets that came over from the Citadel were of age or not. He would cut them off if they weren't. One night, two guys come in, they're not of age. Big John tells the bartender, cut them off, get them out of here. So they get pissed off, they leave, they come back the next night, they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Big John pulls out his gun, shoots, takes one out, kills him. The bullet ricochets and lands in the wall. The bullet hole is still in that wall. It said that anybody, well, randomly, that sits in front of the bar will start to feel dizzy, headaches, queasiness, any kind of paranormal effectiveness. I bring this up on purpose. I told you guys before, I've taken shit home with me. It's never fun. If any of you are not feeling well, I need you to speak up for that person in your party that's not feeling well. Because the person who's not feeling well is going to say, no, we can continue. I've had people pass out. I've had witches say, no, I'm out, I'm done. The first time somebody passed out from too much paranormal activity, the next day I got CPR trained and I never want to use it. So let's try to keep it that way. If any of you are not feeling well, I want to know of the slightest headache. I know how it's going to affect me. I'm good. I'm highly medicated.
Well, like, what happens if something does affect you?
We will move you to a safer place, probably get you some water, figure out what's actually happening, take a look at what some of the data told us. In the event data tells me we're not doing well, I need to move you guys along quickly. Again, the stones I carry with me are blessed. I'm not a religious person, but my psychic friends are. So the past couple nights have been pretty good.
You like take it away if it does stick to it?
I will figure it out.
Okay. I'm very superstitious, that's why.
Yeah, he's really
Well, I will tell you, they normally, when they attach to me, it's because of my disorder, and they will look at me as weak-minded. However, when we're walking through, most of the places we're going to are pretty friendly.
Okay.
So that's why I take you guys there. I'm not going to take you to the old jail with all them pissed off prisoners in there and rig up the EMF so the devices go off. That's not what this is. So again, just please let me know. It's a big deal to me. The other story that actually comes from here is that we had an earthquake in 1886. It was really our only earthquake. That's why it's such a big deal. A piece of the mantling that's above your heads also wraps around the front of the building. A piece of that mantling fell off and apparently killed the first person from that earthquake. Paul, the previous owner of Cane Rum Bar, which is what this bar used to be several months ago, used to see black shadows coming across East Bay Street before he opened the bar. I don't have any evidence for myself, but I trust Paul. He's been able to communicate with Big John once he took over the bar, because it was Big John's and then it was Cane Rum Bar. But anyway, those are the stories that come from here. I don't normally get a whole lot except on the reverse, or on that spirit box of some of Big John's teammates, things like that when we're standing there. So I'll be listening at the very beginning for any of those interviews. So you guys ready to go ghost hunt?
Yeah.
If I talk too damn much?
No.
You guys are on my 9 o'clock tour, which means you're my last one, which means we can kind of take our time a little bit. So if this takes up to 2 hours, it takes up to 2 hours.
That works.
I'm not that, all right, I'm off the clock. I mean, it's already 9:30, so let's get rolling.
How does it work different?
What is this now? I mean, they closed it. Is it closed?
We're going to head this way.
Johnny,
Some
come
kind
on.
of bar.
Said it was Cane Rum Bar, and now it's
Nick, it used to be like 15 years ago. We bought a house that's 105 years old. Not kidding you. I didn't even believe in any of this stuff.
it was
at all.
haunted.
I've never believed in any of this stuff until doors started opening, cold spots. See it on walls. I'm not making any of it up. And
It's
We
still
could-
1891.
we could get anybody. None of our family would stay in one part of the house at all. People. We even challenged my best friend. He's this big old burly police officer. He was on the SWAT in Phoenix. And I challenged him to stay in this room overnight. Halfway through the night, he came out. We found him on the couch downstairs. I'm like, what happened? He goes, I woke up in the night and there was this thing standing over me.
Oh my god.
Where's this house?
This is a house. It's in
Logan,
Utah. It's up in
or
Logan,
Providence,
Utah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I made me a believer literally overnight.
So I do
crazy.
get asked quite a bit
What's your
about.
name? I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. I'm sorry, what was your name?
My name is Nick,
Nick.
Mhm.
Let's see what's going on.
and sometimes it'll start here, and sometimes it'll wait till we're leaving, almost like a hey, wait, I have something to say. So we do have a couple of things here, but I'll real quick to touch on you.
Yeah.
I do get asked quite a bit if I will come to people's houses and do an investigation. I don't do people's homes. Why?
That's a shame.
It gets too damn personal.
Okay.
I've had too many experiences myself with my own things that when I first started, where things got really nasty, really, really fast, and it was personal. It was messing with my kids. It was messing with my head. It probably caused a couple of seizures that we didn't know about, and really know the cause of them. But this, when it gets personal like that, I can usually say, just get the house blessed. If you're not a religious person, find someone. I've been through apartments that were haunted. Like, that's bad, because you can't get out of a damn apartment lease. Like, you're screwed. You got to figure it out. I've exorcised my own apartment, like exorcism.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'd send the wife and kids out and take care of it for a couple of days.
Wow.
Like bad. So again, I don't do people's homes. If you got a location nearby that you want me to check out, I'll gladly go check things out.
Yeah.
I actually just got back from Gettysburg, and I did 5 investigations up in Pennsylvania. I did the Flight 93 Memorial, and that was a podcast episode for 9/11. Crazy shit came out of that too. Especially, I put the reverse, or I keep saying reverse, the red spirit box. Who has that? Is that you guys? I put that on mute and slid it in my pocket. Was able to enjoy the museum, and it reviewed all the evidence later. It was beautiful. Anyway, but I did 2 places in Gettysburg as far as the battlegrounds, and then I did the Jenny Wade house. That was the latest episode that launched yesterday. Some cool stuff came out of that as well. And I did Falling Waters, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright house. It actually has a creek running through it.
It's a house?
It's a house. I didn't go inside because it's COVID, thank you. Screwing everything up.
Yeah.
But I was still able to do an investigation. I haven't reviewed any of the data from the 2 battlegrounds of Gettysburg that I did and the Frank Lloyd Wright house. But the Flight 93 Memorial proved to be haunted. And the Jenny Wade house, for sure. So Jenny Wade was the only civilian killed during the Battle of Gettysburg. So the home where she was killed, it wasn't her house, but it was the house where she was killed. It was definitely haunted. Anyway, back to where we're actually at. So guys, the Crew Cafe is haunted. They have a claim there that there was a suicide there. However, that used to be a slave home, and slave homes did not have addresses. So that's very difficult to find titles and deeds and land plats and all that kind of stuff. So when I can't do research on it later, I don't normally go into an investigation new. I like to go in blind. I like to not know what's happening. So that way when I do the research, the data makes sense. I don't want to go in with preemptive stuff. Does that make sense to everybody? So hopefully after everything settles down with COVID and craziness, they'll let me back in and I'll be able to do an investigation. For you history buffs, the stop sign right there past Crew Cafe, right where Bulldog should be to the left. My good friends there. I hope they listen to this stuff. But anyway, Revolutionary War. Keep in mind that the peninsula of Charleston was much skinnier. All the stuff we have now on the edges is all man-made junk, right? So it was much skinnier. So ship rolls in, shoots a cannon, lands right at that stop sign. It was on the Mark Jones website. Here's another author here in town. Tons of data if you're into anything war history of Charleston. Like it's all Charleston stuff. Thousands of pages. No deaths, no tragedies, no paranormal anything. Just a cool little, hey, that's actually on my tour. I'm going to show it off. So that's where that happened. So where are you standing now? This is the Red Barn Lot. The Red Barn Lot is where they keep ponies for your carriage rides. The horses are still in there. Those of you with lasers, including the infrared thermometer, those lasers cannot go in any windows. Absolutely none. I am friendly with these people. I won't say I'm necessarily friends, but I like to keep it friendly. The ponies will kick and scare the shit out of all of us. And it is loud. It is metal. So, some direction while we move through here. Oh, I guess, actually, a little bit of history here. There's not much. This is the same barn that they kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So we're talking 1860s to 1920s. So, a little bit of history. That's as far as the data tells me. I can't find anything else. This lot is haunted. I get a different person through here all the time. It could be another investigation I'm actually diving into that was really, really recent. Or it could be one of John's teammates that we just talked about at Big John's. It could be some random whoever. Doesn't matter. I want you guys to ask questions about your spirit boxes. You don't have to say, hello, I'm so-and-so. But when you're turning it on, I want you guys to ask a question that's a non-yes or no question. So if somebody here is not relevant. Who is here? Correct. You want to listen for a name. So I will tell you as an English person, the phonetics of the words yes and no are too easy to misinterpret into another part of an English word. Okay, so the S and the O, very common throughout the English language, right? So yeses and no questions, I don't want it. I'm not going to take anything when somebody's here. They said yes. No, find out who is here. Okay, so you're going to ask that question, what color is the barn? Then you're going to wait 30 seconds. Ask the same question if you didn't already get an answer. What color is the barn? Can you tell me what color the barn is? You know you're listening for the color red. This is a place where I want you to kind of get used to what you're listening for. Now, the thermal imaging camera, you can also ask questions. That answer can go to either spirit box, thermal imaging audio, or my audio, or the 2 spirit boxes I'm going to use on my phone. I'm going to ask weird questions that I'm not going to give you suggestions for. So if you come up with, it said green tree. Now I have the valid proof that I asked a weird question and the answer went somewhere else. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. So, again, this is real life for me. This is what we do. I'm here to prove shit right. So, what's inside the barn is a great question. What color is the barn? Who is here? Can you tell me your name? Those kind of questions. But again, you spouting off questions one right after another, not going to get us anything. They're going to shut up and not say a damn word. Or they might answer a question. It's going to take them time to muster up that energy. That's why you have the battery test. Just keeping it safe for us. Alright, so this is definitely a place for spirit boxes up. Nice slow movements from you on the camera. Keep it horizontal. The camera technology is not there. It's not an iPhone. So it's going to pixelate if you move too fast. You don't want that because that'll be false positives. You're going to kind of hang out with mom here. Mom, correct? Is that the relationship I'm getting? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to hang out with mom, and whenever she has something going all the way up to red, I'm probably going to come by and do a quick spirit box session and kind of see what I can get out of it, but you're going to be doing a quick circle around. I'm going to work with you a little bit, all of you, to kind of see what's going on with your devices and answer any questions you have. You're also going to be kind of helping him verify the temperatures around places. You're looking at surface temperatures. So if the surface temperatures match up, you're good to go. If the surface temperatures don't match up, then it's ambient. We need to find out what it is. So let's go circle the lot. Your spirit box is pretty loud. I want you to stay away from those windows over there. You will spook the ponies.
Stay around here.
Stay around here or the left side of the lot. Okay?
Obviously, these ponies have never been around tractors.
Well, from here they go to a farm and they get rotated every couple of weeks. So they go back and forth. So, all right, so let's get your spirit box up a little bit so we can kind of listen. I'm going to kind of give you just what we are listening to. Try to get all the spirit boxes to stay separate.
The wind must have put up a lot of things. No, this is exactly like. Oh. Come to barn. Come to barn.
What temperature are you at?
69 point something.
65.3. I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Good ask your question. What is inside the barn?
Something right here.
I can't move too fast.
Here. See, it's right here. Something right here. See, you see anything around me?
Johnny.
Oh my gosh, it's Johnny.
See anything around me?
No, I guess nobody can move.
Mike, get out of the way.
Check the temperature.
What is it?
72.
Huh?
72.
It's the same. Huh?
Damn people.
78.3.
Who is in the parking lot?
Huh?
Well, I'll send the question.
Oh, okay.
That'll have to slow down because it sounded like I can never. Who's here right now? Tell me who's here.
Why are you here?
got this. I know what you're doing. Alright, so let me mask up so I can work with you. Okay, so obviously you see that the different types of materials we have around us. We have asphalt, we have metal, we have brick over here, and some wood. You can obviously see the different temperatures from there.
Do I need to be with them?
Not necessarily. I want to show you a couple of things.
Okay.
So we can also catch thermodynamics in reverse. So let's say you have a small spot next to him over there, and it all just starts heating up, and you can see a 5 to 8 degree difference. So if it starts turning from red to yellow to white,
Okay.
that's thermodynamics in reverse. What does that mean? That means it's the second law of thermodynamics, which means if getting all kinds of shit. Sorry. Bar in church, Anna.
Are you draining our battery? Oh, sorry.
Ask something about the bar.
What?
I want you to ask something about the bar.
Okay, our battery's almost dead. Our battery's almost dead.
Okay, I think I started off on 2 bars before the night. I'll get you some more. Hang on.
Okay.
All right, so
1 bar. Okay.
heat and cold cannot be created. It can only be transferred. So if you're seeing something heat up, that means there's another area nearby getting a cold spot because it's being transferred. See the balance of scales? But I want you to stay focused. When you see something growing hot, stay focused on it. That's still proof that something else nearby was getting cold. If you see something
So
starting,
if I'm staying in one area and it just keeps getting warmer and warmer and warmer.
it has to be a short amount of time because it's
Okay.
going to happen quickly.
Oh,
If they're
okay.
going to manifest or try to create a cold spot to manifest into a cold spot, then it's going to happen within like 5 to 25 seconds or so.
Okay.
So I mean, it's literally going to just start growing.
Got it.
But if you're coming back and you've been standing here for 3 minutes and it went up 2 degrees, that's nothing. That's the wind causing it, or the wind died down and it heated up, so forth and so on. We can debunk those kind of things very quickly.
Okay.
And again, if you don't catch anything on there, I'm going to watch it in the morning and hopefully capture a few things. I've caught shadow people with that, kind of weird anomalies. Obviously some orbs will come through. We get all kinds of things with that. So again, I know you're trying to study it, but you really want to be watching it like, hey, this is this, and that must be the window, or that must be the air conditioner. That's the fence over there. That's obviously Giannis sitting over there, not wanting to do anything. So, where's the camera
have?
and the EMF? And that thing looks like it's going a little bit crazy.
It's going like and around that area.
Okay, so we're still getting some red over here.
It went
We
all
can
the way over
also
here?
use this as a communication device.
Oh, really?
So it's a parking lot, so I'm always like watching for cars too. So what we can do now, go ahead and hold it perfectly flat and hold it as still as possible.
And talk.
So what we can do is, if somebody's actually here, make this box go to red, all the way to red. This box right here with the lights, it'll go from green to yellow to red the closer you get. So make this, there's 1 red, thank you, I'll take 1. Can you make it stay there longer than that? Make it go all the way to red, get closer.
You can do that.
Come on.
Come on, make it go.
Does that thing give off
red.
objects? Like the little white dot that's around it?
So that's probably the light itself.
okay.
Because it's like, I'm sure you noticed like the white lines are a little bit off.
Okay.
So it's going to recognize that light as an object.
Cool.
You got it. Good question. See, there you go. Keep going. I'm going to get them some batteries before we go.
Who is here?
I'm scared.
I don't know how it goes.
Oh, okay. You want to say something? Do you want to say something? Come closer and make it all the way red. No? You don't want people close to me? Okay. You can just move forward to me. Can you make it red? That's good. That's it. Just make it red all the way. Can you try it again? And keep it red? Just move forward. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that's good.
Stay here for a long time.
Thank you. Thank you.
I got so dizzy when we were walking in the parking lot.
Do we need to tell him or?
I mean, I don't know if it's my anxiety or if it's something else.
Okay. I don't want you to be afraid. What tool do you have? I really don't. You need to tell him? You tell him. Is it because of your anxiety or because of your...
Maybe you should ask on there.
Can you keep it there for us a little bit longer? You like our company? You can come closer.
Maybe we're making you shy now. What's your name?
Alright,
What's your
so
name?
what did we hear on that spirit box? Did we get the gist of how it works? Did we hear specific things?
We kind of in the beginning.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, right in the very beginning we did.
Okay.
Outside of that, we did not.
Okay, you want to tell me, we're going with the battery tester. Obviously, we're doing a little bit of communication or at the EMF meter.
Yeah. I'll look at the light.
We had that weird.
Yeah, we had a very odd sound out of the SP7, so that'll be on the regular audio.
There's something near me.
She's asking yes or no questions.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, 'cause I
you
was
can
looking
actually
at
do
him.
that with that device because then you can say make it go to red for yes or make it go to green
That's
for
what
no.
I was telling them.
There you go. Where are we
It's
at?
just right here at the edge.
So like when it went to red when you asked
Okay.
it?
So we're
Yeah.
It just goes up.
Guys, let's go learn some history. Does everybody kind of have a gist of how their gadgets work?
Yes.
All right.
I mean, for the
Yeah,
most part.
everybody, we're gonna
Jenny.
go forward.
Come on.
The reason why I asked you guys to ask something about the bar is I got bar and church, which is funny. We have 5 Church Street over here, and we have the bar at Big Don's.
But we asked their name a few times.
Yeah, we did that too.
There's so much activity over there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Drinking in a glass.
More. That's how much life. It's like what?
How are you feeling?
I don't know.
Would have been funny if the word spirits would have came up with the question that you guys asked.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, so I promise this is not going to be parking lots on my own. But keep in mind, so let's get you guys moved around a little bit because it is a parking lot. So here's the gist of this place. Your other ghost tour is going to take you to something to see. Right? This is a parking lot, all right? This used to be home to Charles and Eliza Pinckney, super important couple to the city of Charleston. So who were they? They had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles, and there was the husband named Charles.
Oh.
The son and the nephew signed their constitution. The son was raised here. Okay, very big deal for Charleston. However, I'm not a big politician, nor do I care for politics. Look at your EMF. Going crazy. It was.
Oh yeah, it is.
However, I like to talk about Eliza. Eliza married Charles so she could stay in the United States. She's from England. That's where that EVP that came from last night, this is where it was. So, the two of them actually have a pretty big age gap. So she just married Charles so she could stay here. Her dad was sick. He thought he was dying, and he wanted all his kids with him. She didn't want to go. She got married. They had a couple of kids. They stayed here. Dad got better. Started sending gifts over from England. Please don't lean on somebody's car. People get really weird about us being in here to begin with. So, and I just got the word Western. That's interesting. So, I'm always looking. I try to relate every word, but they don't always match. So at any rate, he starts sending gifts over, and one of those gifts happens to be the plant indigo. You guys have been all around town, and you've seen the word indigo all over. It literally started where you're standing. The mansion would have been in the front, Eliza's garden lined up with that white car, and then the slave quarters in the back. Okay? So, what is indigo? It is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. We still use it today. If you have Disney Plus, go to the Jeff Goldblum, whatever, he did a whole session on denim and indigo. Pretty cool stuff. I was like, wow, I'm actually going to watch this because it relates to jewelers. It's work. So, a couple things we can actually ask Eliza. Well, first off, you should know she was the businesswoman that sold indigo overseas, which is what saved Charleston from a rice plantation that's went downhill. All of our rice plantations went down. This was the next cash crop. So it started here, and then they moved it inland to Mount Pleasant over at Snee Farm. Super cool stuff. The fact that she was a businesswoman that sold it overseas, we're talking colonial times. There was no such thing as a businesswoman. This was a huge deal. So a couple facts you guys can ask your spirit boxes about Eliza. I'm not going to give you the answers until after we leave here.
Okay.
I got complicated. Western graveyard and complicated. Interesting. So that would make sense actually. So her husband is buried here. She is not. He is buried in the Western graveyard. I'm gonna verify that. But I'm looking at the map in my head. I'm almost 99% positive he's in the western portion of the river. So I'm going to verify that. That's really interesting. Put that two and three together. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. Find out what her maiden name was. That's what she goes by. Eliza blank Pinkney. They had 4 kids. Only one was a daughter. Try to find out what the daughter's name was. She will tell you in one of our boxes. Find out how she died, how old she was, where she's buried, all of that good stuff. Those are very specific questions. Numbers don't lie, and the other answers are very, very specific. So try to find out what those things are. You can also ask what happened to the mansion. I mean, that's a pretty simple answer as well. So I'll be interested to kind of see where everybody goes, but the direction here is obviously spirit boxes up. Lasers, we're going to keep them below the wall. Keep in mind, vehicles can be sensitive to very strong lasers. Those of you with new batteries. So, keep the spirit boxes separated. So you two you have to be in opposite corners somewhere to kind of watch where everybody's going. I'm going to go wherever you guys don't go. Watch the vehicle. Obviously, we want a full thermal imaging camera view all over the place, just nice and slow. Your EMF will kind of go crazy all over. Do those tests like what we did over at the Red Barn Lodge. We were trying to get the spirit to actually touch. Yeah, that one's a... but with her EMF, we were trying to get the spirits to either come closer or go further away. Try those same questions again. Address Eliza directly. If I get something where I think that Charles is here based on the information I'm getting, I'll say we're going to switch it up. Start talking to Charles. Let's talk to Chuck. I'll give you the same answers, I'm sure. Same thing with the temperatures. So you're going to do a nice base reading, kind of follow him around a little bit and verify everything. You don't want any false positives on the camera. So everybody kind of got the gist of it. We're going to spend about 10 minutes here and see if we actually capture it. So let me see where you guys are going to go so I can go in an opposite corner. Okay. All right.
Make it laugh. Eliza, what is your maiden name?
So, what if we go in this corner?
Hey.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't know where you're supposed to point that at.
Like, if you see something, like, let me know how to point it.
Yeah. Eliza, what happened to the mansion?
Did you see a mansion?
I think so. Eliza, what happened to the house?
Is this Eliza? Okay.
Well, tell her why you get green and all that.
Eliza, if you're here, can you make all this red, all the way red, and keep it red for me for a moment? Thank you. So you are near us. Okay. Thank you, Eliza. This is your house. This was your house, right?
That was the front door.
I can just
You guys hear that? We asked what happened to the mansion, and the box goes, fire.
Oh my God.
So we went and asked him, and he said, yep, it burned down.
Oh, he didn't tell us yet, did he?
No.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my God, look at her. She's here. Eliza, is that you? Thank you. Now we know what happened to your house.
It's like staying there for a long time.
So they already figured out what happened to the mansion. They already got the word fire, and it's right where them two are standing up in that corner. So I got them kind of asking, I gave them an extra clue, like ask where the fire was. It is literally on the upstairs floor of where they're standing. So it was right above them. So I usually, when I say go ahead and I want to see where you guys go, nobody goes there. Usually somebody with a spirit box goes there. If they don't, then I go up there with mine. And that's where I get the most activity out of my spirit box.
Started the fire.
So,
And I asked her, you know, like she came near us and she made it all the way there. So when I was over here, I asked if it Eliza or her daughter, and then when I said her daughter.
and it just went down again. It was red,
So
and it went down again.
it's like her
So
daughter.
maybe change the subject. Maybe ask. Yeah, just don't ask about. I mean, if she doesn't want to talk about Harriet tonight, that's what the whole thing was. Then maybe she wants to talk about something else. That was pretty nuts. So,
So you want to say
let me turn on
something else?
mine and let's kind of do a quick session with mine. So, Eliza, do you know where's Harriet? Is she here? I hate to ask. Yes or no questions. Eliza, how many children did you have?
5.
4 of them. One passed away very, very young, so we might get to number 3. She doesn't like to talk about that one. Usually all activity starts as soon as you start poking around about it. Not that she can't hear us right now, but Eliza, how many kids did you have total? How many children? Sorry, you guys all got me talking a lot tonight.
Okay, Eliza, I know that you must be devastated in your house.
How much each is what I heard. That doesn't make any sense. Hello,
Did you hear it when something-
Charles. Charles, is that you? Charles, say your name.
Charles, can you keep this box all the way red? Can you keep it red? There we go. So this is Charles.
Charles, what month were you born? October, there it is. What month did you die, Charles? What month did you die in, Charles? It's October. He was born and died in October. But I definitely heard in October earlier, so got the word male. So it's not Eliza.
I knew it.
Oh.
Demons don't talk.
Oh, they don't?
No. Demons will try
You okay?
So he sent you the links,
Yeah.
and he's gonna send you all this, and so you can hear whatever he's telling.
Just like in a really fun
I know it's lifted, ladies. I was like, where did they go? Did you move them over there? No.
Was there someone named Rose?
I know, they have a cool tool.
You know, you can also record on your phone, and then you can hear it later.
Our phone. I'm not gonna show you more voices.
No, you do.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to do that.
I see
Guys,
that.
let's all meet up in the center real quick. Here's where your box is down. So, a couple of things. We didn't have Eliza with us. It was Charles. We did get the word male on mine, and then with Rachel's EMF, like she's still doing a session over there with Charles. Like kind of getting him to go closer and further away based on the questions that she's asking. I asked, when were you, because I wanted to verify it was Charles, tell me when you were born. We got October. They also had October and had no idea of the questions they were asking. So that kind of verifies the October piece. So Charles and Eliza obviously had the same children. I don't know that Charles had any other children with previous wives. I did get the number 12 when we walked in here, so I'll dive into that. And that
We
came
asked how many children you had.
in.
Got nothing.
Okay.
But
No, we didn't.
we asked.
I'm going to look into this
Yeah,
Dominic
we
as
didn't either.
well. I don't know if Dominic means anything, so we're going to kind of dive into that. Anything weird on your thermal imaging? Okay.
I don't think so.
So that'll be something I'll have to dive into further. But the EMF definitely goes crazy in here. You guys, the answers to all of those questions. The house did catch fire right up in that corner. They also heard fire right away. As soon as they asked what happened to the house, it was in the upstairs bedroom. I don't know what caused it. I don't think anybody knows what caused it. Eliza died at the age of 70 from breast cancer in Philadelphia, and that's also where she's buried. She was up there on business at 70 with breast cancer. So kudos to you, Eliza.
She's not here.
She's not buried here, no. And I don't think she's with us right now. I think she was with me last night with that baked beans breakfast deal because she's from England. Charles is not. He's from here. That's why his last name's Pinkney. That's why every other street name
Was that
is
the
that.
front door of the place?
So you also have to remember that was back in the 1790s, 1760s
Okay.
and 1790s. Once it burned down, it was destroyed. And then later on, we actually had a restaurant here called Molly Darcy's. And this wall that you see came from Molly Darcy's. And this is not the original wall, it's just the original land. They're not going to do an archaeological dig on this parking lot. They're supposed to be putting up a commercial hotel here. It's already supposed to be here, to be quite honest with you. But they're not going to do a dig because it's going to cost the city too much money. But we can take down statues and pay millions of dollars. Don't get me started. Please don't get me started. But anyway, what are the questions? Oh, Eliza Lucas Pinkney was her name. So Lucas Pinkney that's what she goes by, and there's plenty of books written about that woman because she has done a shit ton of stuff. So by all means, look her up. You have it on the audio in case you can't remember it. That's another reason why I do it that way. But I think we actually have plenty. I'll be interested to see what else comes out of your spirit box during this time.
Where did it come from?
Beer can.
Where did it come from?
Over there.
Interesting.
There's a bunch of trash over there.
Yeah, but I don't think the wind's that strong to fill a beer can. Eliza-
Well, it's aluminum. Yeah,
Oh,
it's an aluminum can.
fair enough. All right, so we're going to walk up East Bay Street.
Come on, y'all.
Absolutely
It's
no
her.
lasers on East Bay.
Okay.
Your EMF is going to go crazy because the electrical lines for our parking meters and crosswalks are underneath the sidewalk, and it's strong enough to reach your EMF, so don't even pay attention to it.
It's still going crazy though.
Yep. And it will. And I will be honest, this place has actually let me down quite a few times. Where I walk in, I don't have anything, I don't have any kind of activity whatsoever, and there's no EMF. So take that for what it's worth. I would tell you 95% of the time, this is my grand finale. That's what this is. We just do it at the beginning so you guys get lots of activity. And we can talk about Big Johns and nobody getting sick. That's a big deal to me. All right, so it's definitely a mask up area once we get to the more populated areas. By all means, where's the camera again? Rachel. So we're gonna walk by the market. If you want to take pictures of the market, by all means, you can. Again, just try to keep everybody's
Out of
heads,
the
faces out of the pictures. We're going to let Rachel kind of stay towards the front because we're going to go to Lodge Alley. And it's a great abandoned alley with great pictures. So I do get a lot of weird light anomalies and those kind of things. But let's get Gianni coming along with us, and we're going to move along.
So can we take pictures on our own camera?
That's up to you. Do whatever you want. It's your park.
Well, I just wasn't sure if you allowed that. Some people don't. Okay.
I'm used to the media. My face is all over everything.
I know.
I have no idea where they went. Okay. They're in the car.
Wait, watch your step.
So we need to press this first, right?
Yeah, once you turn it on, so there's an on button first. Yes, there you go. Let this car behind and then move it on. It's actually a great picture. Just try to be still.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to splice those together. So we got video again, which is good because we kind of need it for this last piece. So the building behind you, is the big giant brick building, is the Wagner building. So us English Americans would probably look at it as Wagner, but it is Wagner. It's 3 syllables. So what happened there? That was a cotton warehouse. It is now condos in the back. Yes, people live there. And the front of it, they're turning into a wedding reception area that will be considered waterfront. I don't know the dynamics of the group. So if you guys need a wedding reception area and can drop $50K, by all means, do so. But it's going to be very, very expensive because it will have a rooftop view as well. So a lot of construction going on there, which spurs up a lot of activity for a guy like me. Yay. So, cotton warehouse. The last guy who owned it as a cotton warehouse was George Poirier. He inherited the business from his dad. They're all out there. At least they got Starbucks. I'm jealous now. Anyway, so he inherited the business from his dad. Silver spoon kid, no clue what he was doing. Got himself into a bunch of debt. Blew through his inheritance. Now he's up shit creek and he doesn't know what to do. The boll weevil was also a challenge. So that's a bug that eats cotton. He's screwed. So he's got to sell it and get rid of it quick. So he doesn't sell it to the American government. He sells it to the British government. So British ship rolls up, which is what is now Pineapple Park. Again, water was much closer. He's watching everything from the second story. They load up the cotton with horse and buggy from the back garage that you see, and somebody gets too close to that cotton with a pipe. The whole ship catches fire, everybody jumps, drowns, and dies. George watches the whole thing from the second story. So, he no longer can pay off his debts because he didn't get enough money from the British. His dad is dead, and now his father's legacy is gone. So what's he do? He piles up all the furniture, captain's chair on top, swings a noose, hangs himself. I will tell you at the top of the tour, the words that came through on my spirit box were stacked furniture. I didn't say anything back then because it wouldn't have made any sense. Now, did I have George coming with me from my last tour to the beginning? I don't know, maybe. Who knows? Kind of look at it again. See what else comes up out of while we're looking at the building. The weird thing about this building is I will also get Zoe from Proven's Porch that follows me along. She is 2 blocks away from Philadelphia Alley where we just came out. Zoe Saint Amand is French. She fell down the stairs in her home, and that's how she died. Zoe. How do I know it's Zoe? She spelled her name C-O-E, not C-O-E-Y. And that's the name that has come up several times on my spirit boxes. In word format. Absolutely. So, I know, right? I try to relate everything. It's gotta be fun. So, if I ask Zoe while we're walking up alongside the Wagner building what her house looks like now, she'll tell me words like foods and spoon, fork, things that relate to a restaurant. Restaurant is a very hard word to muster, although I have heard it. But other words are very simple. They're one syllable. Much easier to muster up. So you can ask those kind of things to Zoe specifically. Now, we're going to get a thermal imaging video on the second story when we go up on the front. So you're going to get us a nice slow on the second story and see if we can actually capture anything. Keep in mind, thermal imaging cannot see through glass. So what the heck are we looking for if we can't see in the damn windows? I want to see if those blue windows are going to turn a darker blue or black. And it's probably only going to be one panel. All the blue, as he moves his camera, should shift accordingly. If one thing in one panel goes a little darker, we obviously have something. The other weird thing about this building, and I'm not sure if I should even test it tonight because it's too windy to really gauge it and not have valid proof, but the peak of the building, like you see in the back, is the same peak in the front, only it's covered in stone. It's like a decoration. 5 feet below it is a inlaid stone, same type of stone. There's usually, if there's high activity that particular night, can go all the way up to a 30 to 35 degree difference. It should normally only be 7 to 12 degrees. I would say on a windy night like tonight should be 15 to 20 degree difference. Anything above 20 degrees, I want to say we had 23 on the last tour, and I'm like, not really. It's really windy. This wind tonight could affect that. So I don't even know if I want to test it, but just to show you how I do experiments, we will use the infrared thermometer to kind of test that idea. Pictures galore of the front of the building, Miss Rachel. If you want to cross the street to get us some other pictures, that would be cool too, but that's completely up to you. Absolutely no lasers as we get closer. Your EMF is going to go crazy because of the parking meters on East Bay Street. But spirit boxes get a little difficult to hear once we reach East Bay. So listen to them as we walk alongside of the building. I will obviously lead the way doing my thing with my spirit box to see if we can actually capture anything there. Questions, comments?
Second floor windows are like important for me. Okay.
Try the third story too. The online stories will tell you third, but every time I ask George, like, where was he? He'll say 2, second, anything that relates to the number 2. First loser? No. All right, so let's cross legally twice. Gianni, you all right? Yeah, let's I really need to move this to a palm tree.
Why was the water usually closer there?
That's a river.
There you go. Infrared thermometer. So I want you to take your gun and I want you to shoot the very top stone at the very peak of that building. All the way up, right
Keep going. Right there. What do you got?
60.6.
Okay, so go down to the stone below it.
The white
Keep
stone.
the white stone. Right there.
62.4.
Hold it there.
62.
62? Okay, so nothing major. But nice slow sweeps if you want to walk down the front so that way we can actually get a glimpse of all the windows. That would be great. Did we hear anything on your spirit box? I didn't hear much either. So again, this is either you get both, one or the other, or absolutely nothing. You never know what I'm actually going to get here. Yeah, I'm still going to take that stacked furniture as I just wrapped up the tour and left here and went to go visit with you guys. So I'll take that. I'll go ahead and take that from you because I'm sure somebody along the way asked, how did you die or something along those lines.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I meant from the other tour. So that would have been a delayed response, which is what often happens because they have to muster up that energy. Where's our battery level?
Still at the yellow.
Okay, so we didn't have much happen with your guys, but the last one.
No one living here now.
No, this is where they're going to put all those wedding reception areas. So, yeah, right? That's crazy. All right, so you got us a nice good video, and I seen you across.